happy to be here as well. Boston, you guys happy to be here also? Yeah. All right. Let's get this one started off. Coming to the stage first for the first time this weekend, decked in green, ready to survive this storm. Here comes the Mutineers.
Search and Destroy has been their wheelhouse. They have dominated teams from start to finish. Can the boys from Florida find a respawn this series? Will Paddy the Baddie be the man to lead them there? Let's find out, Guy.
Right, Miles, it is time to find out. Coming back to the stage, Boston, get loud for your 2022 national champions. It's the LA Thieves.
So what's the plan? Same crew, but this time, we take everything.
And Dylan Adam has picked up 3 in a row, looking to take care of the entire squad, and he's done it. Long, here we go. Oh my God! Drazah! It's all coming in. They haven't got the first thing, but yet Kenny on the flank. Kenny on the flank. Kenny!
Here they come. It's the Thieves. We got Octane, Drazah, Kenny, and Envoy. The LA Thieves.
If anybody can take down Dave Paddy, I'm looking over at the Sam LaRue Octane, the main AR on the side of the LA Thieves, but he can't do it alone. Next to him's gonna be Drazah, the Alaskan assassin, and I know he's seeing red. I'm thinking Thieves, Blaze, but we gotta get the match started.
I know y'all ready in the chat. Boston, y'all ready? Lando, Study, let's go.
Let's do it, Blaze. Let's have ourselves a fantastic series. Florida taking on the LA Thieves in a match, Jay, that I'll be honest with you, I am absolutely terrified for both of these rosters coming into this elimination game.
Oh yeah, without question, man. Obviously, if you are the Thieves, you fall short in that Game 5 Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
But the same Game 5 that they played yesterday is going to be the Game 5 in this series. The only difference is that Florida are the #1 team in Search and Destroy. They are the worst at hardpoint. 5-21.
No question.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's absolutely abysmal. But their S&D has been able to carry them through a lot of series. So if you're Florida, just need one respawn. One of the 3, try to force that Game 5, and the series is probably going to be theirs.
That's like one of the more dangerous parts, it's fair to say, about the Florida Mutineers throughout previous majors. This franchise, right, has been known for these wild runs on land, and oftentimes it's because of their sneaky ability at times to win respawns. As you said, coming into the map vetoes, you and I were very, I don't know, I guess a little questionable when it came down to it, because you've got these search destroys that appears to be on lock. You're undefeated in the 2 that you'll see today. As you said, man, they just need one, and it could be our opener.
They just need one. They just need one respawn, and starting off on the hotel hardpoint, it's not going to be easy to take down the Thieves. They're the #1 breaking team on this map, but their only opening for me is going to be that P2. That is where the Thieves do struggle. They give up about 25 to 30 points. But like I said, the #1 breaking team on the map, that's the only hill that they struggle with, underneath 20%.
We'll see how both teams look to adapt. As we said, an elimination match. Losers headed home, and loser will see a top 12 placement listed next to their name for the remainder of time. No pressure, Jay. No pressure at all. Here we go into the game one hotel hardpoint. As we jump on forward, it's LAT with preferred spawns for P1. Florida, at least for the future, preferred spawns for P2. We jump on in, and to no surprise, it's Thieves who hop in first.
Yeah, Thieves early on. We're going to get a lot of time off of this P1. You just have to win your gunfights because you are starting off on the better side. Florida trying to get the break, but they're maintaining the spawns for next. Major Maniac with the big kill onto Envoy. Keeping control of that P2, but LA Thieves doing a great job just soaking up a lot of time off of this P1 hardpoint.
You like the aggressiveness that you're seeing from Kenny here off the rip. You can tell Thieves, they're trying to strut their stuff. Nice nade comes in from Envoy on the outside. So Thieves, they're getting time, and Jay, they're starting to press Florida a bit. Quickly, they've got a nice little spawn out situation beginning to happen. Sole player here is going to be Vico.
Yeah, Vico's the only guy here. He at least finds one. He's trying to finesse around the pillars. Does a great job of doing so. So he's going to be able to maintain those spawns for Florida to get fully set up at this P2. You have a perfect setup. Dave Patty holding down the spa angles. You also have Major Maniac watching through Jules. These gunfights can be big. And then you also have Havoc who spawns on the pinch, so he's going to be ready right through single arch. This should be a clean 4 dead, but look at the spawns. LA Thieves are going to spawn in towards the back.
Oh, Kenny gets gifted one, nearly finds the second. So Thieves are here and ready for the break. How about SMG Kenny coming forward? And just like that, behind those few kills, the rest of the Thieves jump on inside of the hard point, and now that lead begins to expand. They're already threatening and getting closer to that 100-point mark. Florida, they've worked so hard for this P2 rotation, and they've only been gifted like 5 seconds of it.
Yeah, that's not good right there if you are Florida. You won your gunfight, you just allowed LA Thieves to spawn behind you and break your entire setup. So now LA Thieves able to chain 2 hills together off the rotation towards kitchen. Not a single player from Florida in that position yet, so it's going to be an all-out battle in towards Diner.
And as we get ready to head in toward P3, a hard point, as we said, the Florida have got to hold. You're already taking a look at that score, and it is not pretty to start things off. I mean, we talked about it, right? Florida, horrible hard point record, by far the worst team in the league. What are some adjustments you want to see them do in this match, and however long that they could be alive here at Major 2, Jay?
Well, they definitely need to start rotating because they are 11th overall in the league, and their break percentage is also abysmal, dead last. So you have to just do the fundamentals correct. You get the better spawns, the kills will be easier. And so far, they do a great job here at this P3. You know that all of LA Thieves are going to be spreading rank in front of you. It's all about these gunfights. As long as you keep the trade stagnant, it's all going to come into your fruition. As Florida, they find 3, all 4 dead in the feed. Great hold.
Indeed, that's what you said they needed to do. They needed to get that rotation. They needed to hold, and so far they're able to do it. We talked about it a lot as well for the other side on the LA Thieves, a team that typically is known for their fundamentals, but lately in hardpoint, so far throughout MW2, it's been all about their breaks, rotations, and not exactly where you'd like number 12 when it comes to rotations, and now they're going to have to rely on one as we head in toward bar. A lot of players to look out for. And one of those guys very well could be Major Maniac. He's got the FaZe in hand.
Yeah, he's got the FaZe. He's just waiting for his teammates to try to set up this pinch. That's not an easy gunfight. Challenging Octane on the Godhead he is. That's going to be LA finding 3 kills in the feed. This is now going to allow Kenny to get aggressive in towards bottom bedroom. As long as he's staying in this position, Florida cannot sprint forward. They have to at least take him down, try to find the opening, but Kenny's just finessing. He's dancing around the map. He finds another one. That's all 4 dead in the feed. LA Thieves, so far flawless on the whole.
You can see Kenny's face. He was just like, oh, they all died. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. Final 30 seconds look to go very much in the way of Thieves, and a lot of it is based off the spree that Kylo Ken found himself on. I don't believe he earned the cruise in that moment, but he can be happy at the fact that this lead is very well intact. Florida, thankfully, are able to jump in for a moment, but still, you've got a few Thieves arrows around this location. A current 3v2 inside of the hill, and they look to be in a prime spot to take that one as well, and they will. Scrap goes to them, and another rotation where Florida's got to be solid. A break here would surely be horrible for them.
Yeah, it would definitely be horrible, and Dave Patty's now the only line of defense to try to hold this down. You take care of him, and LA Thieves find the early break. 50 seconds on this P5 hard point. They're trying to hold it down. All the spawns for Florida trying to tunnel right through kitchen. They win the first gunfight. Now you just have to win the trades.
But like, even despite the rotation toward restaurant, man, it just feels like so far these setups for Florida have been so fragile. Like you had Vehicle, who was in the backside of P2. He was the only line of defense. He only stays alive for a little while. And then we come in toward restaurant. Florida, one player here who is there to hold off of a massive, massive play. And Thieves, they win a 1v1, and look at that. Now they've got the time again it's frustrating. It's got to be frustrating to see the way that this hardpoint has already started, as it is basically a 100-point lead. And we're only just a few hard points in. We're not even through the first rotation yet.
Yeah, you just got to start cutting your losses if you're Florida. You can't send 2 players on the old hard point, because that's the reason why they got broken at Diner. They sent 2 players towards old. They were able to at least try to fight for that final 15, and then it turns into a 2v2. If both your teammates don't win their gunfights, you lose that rotation. We need to cut our losses and rotate properly and get properly set up to try to get back into this one, because the LA Thieves, they're running great with it.
They are indeed. One man who's absolutely doing that right now is Octane. We saw his POV for a moment. I believe he sits right now at 14, maybe 15 and 8, somewhere around that region. Having a phenomenal start to this hardpoint. Did so versus OpTic Texas despite the loss. Put a 1.38 up in that game, and there is another break. Not the first time we've seen it, and it may not be the last. However, for Florida, they've got to dive in. 20 seconds to go. You got to fight for this time. And aBeZy jumps on forward. Nobody there. However, Havoc's able to rebound. That is a very necessary 15 seconds that you need as we reset and prepare for the second side.
And now it's time to go back towards P1. If you are Florida, you have to soak as much time as you possibly can. Not allow LA Thieves to get 40 seconds once again at this first hard point. You also want to do a great job of just slaying around the map, controlling the spawns, making the kills easier. That's going to be 2 dead in the feed. They're maintaining P2 side. They're getting some great time off of P1 to start.
They are still battling inside the middle. Major Maniac is making sure those spawns are squeaky clean, and right now they are. But as we said, what currently is dirty is that scoreline. They've got to be more efficient. As you said, when it comes down to these P1s, still fighting, still contesting, but this is time that you have to have if you're Florida. These 30 seconds, you'd love to just make sure that it's a contest fest, but at this stage of the game, Jay, any point is a valuable one for Thieves, and it gets them ever closer to the 250 mark.
Yeah, the Thieves are able to flip those spawns. Look at number 8, Octane. He hasn't moved from back steps. He's holding down that overextension, knowing that Florida have now all spawned over towards that kitchen side. You have one player, Kenny, trying to set up the timing on the flank. He's going to be behind 3 players, but Drazah, he takes down Vehicle. Major with the trophy, too strong for Havoc. And now that's going to be all 3 dead off the rotation. LA Thieves not making any mistakes. They can win the game here.
I mean, Kenny's just having a blast. It feels like every time we're on his POV, he's going on his spree. The cruise missile that he doesn't earn earlier in the game, well, now it looks like he's got it. He's constantly going on flanks. You can tell the Mutineers caught off guard. Their heads are spinning. And there's something to be said, I don't know, maybe about their first game, trying to get a little momentum underneath them. A little bit slow to start here in the hard point, it has to be said. Shout out to Ton for that. But 35 seconds still to fight for Florida. They're able to break one of their first wins of the game, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Yeah, right now if you're Florida, you're basically warming up your guns. Guns are starting to get a little bit hot. You see aBeZy on the 5 spree. So far, they have found every single kill in the feed, so getting closer and closer to getting himself back into this game. Now you just have to win that rotation over towards kitchen. You had success on the first rotation of hard points, but this time you don't have the bodies in the positioning. These gunfights are going to be big, and Octane, he starts off with the first, so it's going to be LA Thieves winning that rotation.
Yeah, that 1v1 just makes it a lot more difficult for the Mutineers. You can tell the wheels were turning for Major Maniac, needed that pick, not able to find it, and now the SMGs still somewhat eyeing up a flank. aBeZy and co trying to lead the charge. He's now on 6. Tosses down that trophy himself, gets rid of that one, and now the break is possible here for Florida. They're knocking on the door, and aBeZy slides on in. The trades, well, for a moment favored the Thieves. Vico able to stay alive. Only 8 more points, though, for Thieves. Florida, they've got to remain perfect, and it feels like, Jay, they've started to turn up.
They have started to turn it. They're making this scoreline look a little bit more respectable. They find the break on towards kitchen. 25 seconds. Some good time still remaining on this hard point. As LA Thieves, they're still going to contest this. Octane, unfortunately, with the team kill. Not able to find that final kill. So LA Thieves are not going to be forced off the rotation. There's only one player in that position, is going to be Drazah. But LA Thieves, they're spawning at bedroom. They're going to be able to set up the crossfire.
Yeah, the Thieves, 3 players instantly spawn up in bedroom, so you do have a few scouts, if you will, for the Mutineers, who are very much eyeing up this bar hard point, because they've got to win these fights early and they've got to win them fast. The streaks comes in for aBeZy. However, not a lot of damage that ends up being done. Final few seconds, Dave's going to rush on forward. He drops as well. Final few seconds, Havoc, he's able to hold it off for a moment. Drazah still here. Does he have the beams? You bet he does. 2 more points, and that will be game. A well-controlled hard point from start to finish as Thieves get out of the gates quite hot.
The fundamentals right there for the LA Thieves. Exactly what they needed to do in map number 1. I think the game started to get out of hand, Lando, when that P2 spawn came in for LA. Florida were fully set up off the rotation. I said that that's the hill that they needed to win. They want to try to take this map #1 from the Thieves. But they get those good spawns. They start up at basically 100 into this hard point, and then we're running rotation after rotation. Florida just looked like they weren't really warmed up. You know, this is the first time on the stage for them, so they had to get the guns a little bit warm. They started to turn up towards the very end.
You could feel it.
Yeah, it was a little bit more respectable of a scoreline, but it was just LA Thieves doing their things right, making the game easy, taking back one.
And you called it perfectly. It was like off the very start of this game. What terrified me the most is that LA Thieves were able to get 44 points off of P1. That's like
disgusting.
off of the very opener, where this is supposed to be a contest fest, a crazy back and forth hard point. Thieves basically got a money hill to start, and then they braked on top of that. Then they held the rotation toward next. They were just in the driver's seat to where, I mean, Florida could play their best hard point, and you're not going to make a comeback like that, given the massive scoreline that you're down by.
You just have to be on the side of Florida. You have to be that guy that's going to be like, all right, we got to cut our losses, guys. There's no point in sending 2 players for 20 seconds when we know that they're getting the better spawn to at least win the trade battle there. It's going to make our setup weak at the next hill. And we saw it time after time. You're fighting for the final 15 to 20. Then it turns into a 2v2. If your teammates don't win your gunfight, then you lose the following rotation. You're allowing LA Thieves to chain hill after hill. And when you allow that to happen, that's why the scoreline started to look the way it did. Florida started to bounce back when they started winning gunfights, but at that point, it was too late.
Yeah, it absolutely was too little too late there for the Mutineers. Another hard point loss, as that win rate, that percentage does not get much better, at least to kick off the Boston Major. As we said, the worst hardpoint team in the game, and sadly from online to land, that is something that currently is translating. But one thing that if you're a Mutineers fan, Jay, that you hope translates is your S&D performance, because we've got a Fortress Search Destroy coming up next where they are perfect on.
Oh yeah, they are perfect. Sitting at 3-0, the best team on defense, second on their attacking rounds, and also #1 in retake situations. So if you are LA Thieves, they tend to struggle with this map. It's not going to be easy for them. One thing that really stands out for me, though, is their attacking rounds. That's something that they struggle with tremendously. It doesn't matter if it's post-plant situations, even in the first blood column on their attacking rounds, they're not going to be able to get it. So if you are LA Thieves, at least for them, their defense usually is stellar after they find the first blood. Once they get that first kill, it's 100% win rate on the defensive end. So it's basically a complete blind counter. It's great for Florida on both ends, but their attacking is final. And then on the opposite side, LA Thieves, great on defense after they get the first blood.
I also think this is going to be an interesting barometer, not just for the Florida Mutineers, as we said, the team that we're obviously looking at coming into the Search and Destroy, but it's also a good barometer, depending on who wins this series moving forward, who's going to look good in Search and Destroy, because LA Thieves yesterday were not able to turn up enough in those Search and Destroys versus OpTic Texas. That was something that we've so often talked about with the LA Thieves. To kick off Vanguard last year, not good in Search and Destroy. To kick off this season, better, but still not above 500. You really hope that maybe some of the issues that they've been dealing with, some of the struggles that they had yesterday, this is a team that goes back, watches VOD all the time, that they figured out a few of those mistakes and hopefully change things around versus, as we said, one of the best Search and Destroy teams in the game.
Oh yeah, this is the match that you want to do that. You want to go back and do your homework to try to prepare an S&D, going up against the best S&D team that we have in the game, to see where you really stand up against the best in this mode. So one thing that I took away from their Search and Destroy yesterday is that when they're aggressive on the map, they usually find a lot of success. But when the game starts to slow down, when you allow teams to start reading your setups and slowly pick you apart, that is when LA Thieves start to struggle. You cannot be easy read on your setups.
Well, to get more in the weeds with that, what do you think that comes down to? When the game is fast, they're up, they're feeling good. When the game slows down, what do you cater that to most for the struggles?
Just a little bit antsy. Like someone is always trying to make a play. We know Envoy, he's a playmaker. Kenny, the same thing. But when the game slows down, at that point, a lot of thoughts start going through your mind. Can they push towards A? Can they hit this back alley? What opening do we have? And then when you have them thinking like that, that's when you can find the proper opening in the Search and Destroy rounds. But this is a must-win map for Florida if they want to make this a series.
Yeah, we're already saying it. I mean, we're, what, maybe 15 minutes at best into this series. We're already saying a must-win map if you are the Florida Mutineers. But as we said, this has been their territory. It's been phenomenal for them, and one guy who can lead the way is Mr. Colt Havoc, as he'll be jumping through the top side of the windows, rocking a 1.64 KD, and showing why that is the case. Quickly catches off Drazah, first blood.
Yeah, he jumped right into that single window in about 10 seconds. There's nowhere you're going to be able to read that play if you are the Thieves. So you get the first blood, you back down, And now you hold strong in the man advantage. iLLeY Thieves trying to use their attacks, trying to get some nade hit markers. This one is going to connect onto Vico, but he doesn't check the corner. 2v4 now.
Props to Vico, man. Brought down to 20 HP, just continues to hold his irons and is awarded with the second straight kill of our opening round here for the Mutineers. It is all up to Envoy and Octane quickly. 45 seconds still to go. Octane, he gets wiped away. Great teamwork for Florida. A perfect answer here in round one.
And you said it before the map even started. The guy that you have to pay attention to on this one is going to be Havoc. He finds that first blood, and his SMG duo in Vico puts himself in a nice little corner to find the final two. Great plays from Florida, dominant on the defensive end. Take round one.
And I think it was Chance who talked about it on the desk, and I think he covered it perfectly, man. We could talk about this in respawns, we could talk about it in search and destroy. It feels like Havoc is just a guy that doesn't get talked about enough when it comes down to his impact on the game.
Yeah, he just takes over the game. He plays so much search and destroy. Like Miles said, he's always playing those 1v1 challenges. He's just knowing, he's starting to understand the timings, where they can potentially be, clutch spots, and everything above that. So now it's going to be Florida, though, on the attacking rounds, playing it super patient. This is one thing that I love about them on this map. They like to put pressure on towards the P1 side, basically show they're going to attack towards B and try to break their setup, but Kenny's able to find the first blood, Drazah with the second.
Oh, an unfortunate team kill, but hey, it is a worthy transaction in the end, a 3-for-1, but hey, at least the guns are firing for the Thieves. And as we said, all up to Havoc, a 1v3, and Jay, there's not many players in the league who you feel a lot of confidence about in situations like this. Jumps down, cuts away Kenny. Now 2 more to go. However, Envoy's right on his heels. If Havoc has a bit more HP, maybe a little bit more intel on where everybody is, he stands a better chance, but Thieves, they notch one up on the board.
Yep, they get the first blood. Before the map started, you get first blood on defense, 100% round win. It showed right there.
100%?
Yeah, 100%, man. They're 1-2 overall, but 100% on defense when they get the first blood? That's pretty good.
That is phenomenal. And we see that be the case quickly here for the Thieves. As they've leveled the score at 1-1, as we said, can never be sure. When it comes into Havoc in those clutching situations, but the Thieves able to neutralize them. As they they will jump on the attack. No surprise, Envoy bombing his back. At times you'll see that rotate between a few different players, but oftentimes it can be Dylan-handed. With it indeed, Drazah. Wonderful work to cut away Dave Patty, but you still have quite a bit of presence here from Florida. Vico in that same spot that he was just a few rounds ago.
Bomb is going to get planted, so iLLeY Thieves have the man advantage. You have 2 players from Florida trying to work this late flank. And Vico's just going to play it patient. Wait for his teammates to try to get back into the play. It's going to be Havoc and Major. Major's the only one with dead silence, so you're potentially going to get some sound cues onto where Havoc is going to attack from. Drazah and Envoy, they find 2. They find the final kill onto Vico. And that's just a flawless attacking round right there from the Thieves. You get the first blood, you get the bomb down, you hold your angles. Very clean round.
Yeah, and you can see there for the Mutineers, I mean, they're trying, right? They're trying to figure out something. The wheels were turning in a situation like that. And that's just what it comes down to, right? On Fortress Search Destroy, you're the team that's trying to retake. If you have no presence whatsoever, so many angles, so many places where the attacking team can be located. The Thieves take advantage of that, now find themselves up 2-1 early here in this Search and Destroy. For Florida, 2 players need to get things going. Dave Patty, Major Maniac. Currently an 0-4 combined. We'll see if they can get going, but Octane bringing out the big guns to kick off this round of first blood awarded for Thieves, and a nice shot on top of it all.
That's a big first blood coming in from Octane, but Dave Patty, he answers with one of his own. Major finds the second onto Kenny. So now in the 3v2, bomb is going to be down over towards that A bomb. But it's going to be Florida in the man advantage, so you can slow this one down. Play for the trades. As you know, Octane is still stuck in hand with that sniper. Just don't give him the pick, Havoc. Don't peek this window.
Does he? He could.
Oh, no.
He could. Oh. He's debating it. Meanwhile, Dave Patty, he thought he spotted somebody too. Everybody playing patient. Octane, oh, patience. Doesn't pay off there. Tosses out a nade. And still.
Hold on.
Is waiting for Havoc. Meanwhile, Envoy able to cut away Dave Patty. Havoc actually cuts away Octane. In that situation, Envoy there in the back lines. A 2v3 that now turns itself into a 1v1. Envoy versus Havoc.
And if Envoy picks up this kill, he's going to earn that cruise, but he's playing it super patient. Havoc invested that dead silence. He might have read it beautifully. Envoy with the chow. Takes his time. A couple friendly shots going down. He said, Havoc, I know you play a lot of 1v1s, but none versus me. I'm going to get the better of you this time. As he picks up that final kill, LA Thieves secure the round. And now they have a cruise missile to work with.
Jay, if you were to tell me that in a situation where Thieves is down in man count, Octane, who's been so patient with the sniper, finally gets taken down by Havoc, and somehow they still win the round, is absolutely bonkers.
I would have just told you, like, it was the first blood from Octane.
Yeah.
First blood on defense, 100% round win.
And there it is.
Showed there, even in the 2v4.
It does indeed. Envoy having a phenomenal performance. As we said, the extra shots. Feel confident as they'll line up those pre-nades. We'll see if Florida can handle them or if they will just strictly get out of dodge. It appears that those arrows move a bit. Just a slight little rotation. Nothing too bad. They'll be able to weather the storm. Thieves try to keep up this advantage, keep up this lead, slowly but surely making their way into A.
Yeah, Thieves, they're just waiting because they know that Florida, when they have success, it's in the SMGs being aggressive on the flank. So they sent 3 players in towards Art, basically are making Havoc irrelevant as Octane is able to find the first kill onto Major Maniac. Now you have somewhat A control. And if you are Havoc, start to rotate, homie. We got to get to the teammates.
Yeah, we got to join up. Squad up. Run it back? Nah, it's a Thieves thing. At least the run it back thing is. Here comes the streak. Envoy getting a nice bird's eye view. And Dave Patty made of steel. Not a chance that a cruise missile's gonna take him down. Oh, great work again from the Patty. Cutting away. Kenny Drazah as well will fall. So what started off as a great beginner here for the Thieves starts to turn around a bit. 2v2, 15 seconds on the clock.
It's 15 seconds. Someone at least has to go back for the bomb, and it's going to be Envoy to get this one planted. Trying to find the timing. Vico was able to take down Octane, and
there's no way.
He's going to be able to get this down and get out.
How in the world does Envoy manage to do that? Takes a few shots, 9 HP. Vico hot in his heels. The SMG duo from Florida. One caught out, and Havoc is able to spot him. And he's going to go for some pull-ups, showing some love himself. Get in that work, buddy. Get in that work. Jay, you know, it's difficult. Tournament time, it's hard to find time to work out. What
it is.
Do between rounds?
It definitely is. You know, when the bomb is clicking down, you're waiting for your dead silence to be earned. He's hitting the reps. The crowd is in it. Just couldn't go for 10 right there. Like, I don't know if Havoc can join the military with that amount. Oh, good, though. He clutches the 1v1. Big plays.
His thumbs are working. His thumbs are working. There's no doubt about it. I was wondering if we were going to see a few extra shots, but I think the pull-up, I mean, the pull-up. If you were a player, Jay, if you're a player playing Fortress Search,
I lost composure.
It's got to, like, throw you off a little bit.
If I'm losing a 1v1 and a guy's hitting pull-ups on me, it's like Doug Sensor in-game. Like, that is demoralizing. But Florida finally are able to stop the bleeding. Now down 3-2. Going back on the attacking rounds. Just don't allow the Thieves to get that first blood.
See how it goes down. Aggressive as ever. Aggressive as you like here from the Thieves. As you've got Envoy and Octane all kinds of comfortable. Already inside of that A site. Kenny off screen, able to cut one away on the Major Maniac. There's been a lot of first deaths, I think, so far here for Major. We'll see if the squad can try to clutch it up. As they are out of options, it's strictly back to A again.
Look at the positioning that Envoy's in. Yav did some stuns, Hat did some nades as they set it up. Find a team kill. But that's going to be Octane lining up with the sniper. So now in the 3v2, LA Thieves still in the man advantage. Octane picks up all the info he needs.
Oh, he knows where both players are. He knows where both players are, so Thieves are going to look to try to strategize a bit. They know that somebody is going to be off to the right. He gets dropped, and so will Dave Patty. That is a great moment, right, where Octane obviously finds one with the snipe, but because of the way that he's holding that angle, gives the comms over to the teammate, and anytime you can solo out Havoc, you will take your opportunity to do it. Thieves grab it and now find themselves up 4-2.
Another first blood right there for LA. Kenny shuts down that push over towards that B site. Another one on to Major Maniac, not having the best performance in this game, number 2. 1-5 to start, but in a blink of an eye, he can turn it all around. So now with Florida on the defense, I would love to just see them set the tone again with the aggression. Like, have your SMGs pushing towards Art, try to find the timing, try to get the first blow.
See if they elect to do it. Meanwhile, Drazah over at P1. Some shots begin to exchange, some nades are tossed, utility as well, all over that A site, and Drazah somehow drops Havoc, and that gunfight, Major Maniac gets on the board, but still, it is the Thieves. With man count advantage, davePaTi, a fight that he's got to win. And it's Kenny who's able to escape. Kenny gets out of dodge, and reach out for the fight! Kenny is slippery. Reach house, and now along with it, his teammate on the other side ends up finding 1-2, fight 2 Thieves.
Yeah, right there was just Florida sending 2 players towards that left side. Once Havoc gets taken down, Major does find a trade, but then now there's no one watching open arch. Kenny just sprints right through, finds a kill, and then Head glitches that statue. Holds down that position because he knows he basically has them trapped. You have the cross towards street. You know the last guy's in art. LA Thieves is coming out swinging into search and destroy. Now at point game.
As we said, Florida Mutineers coming into the search and destroy. They were undefeated, technically still are. 1 round to go before that wonderful record. Finally does have a spot on it. Kenny on the floor spree. Decides to pop dead silence. It's actually a team kill off the rip and a stun kill as well. It is all out chaos to kick off this round and to close it. From start to finish, when those kills come through, I think it's about 5 seconds in its entirety. But as the dust settles, it's Florida who put up their third.
Yeah, Octane definitely just got sick and tired. He was like, Kenny, you've been getting a lot of first bloods. This time I'm going to take you down.
Too much love.
We're going to give a free one right there to Florida. As they win their gunfights. Drazah almost made that something, though. He puts his way into R. He finds a 2-piece, makes it at least a 2v1. But is not able to clutch up on the round. So now LA Thieves up 5-3. Back on the attack. It's got to be aggression right here from Florida. You have basically nothing to lose. You got to switch it up.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Havoc looking for those jump spots, maybe thinking someone could go for a quick flank off the rip. We will see. It is not aggression for the Mutineers. Instead, they wouldn't allow for the Thieves to come to them. And Major, as we said, having a slow performance at 2-7, decides to bring out the big guns.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. You're not performing in search and destroy, switching to a sniper.
Not the common strategy.
Not the common strategy from one sniper to another. Oh, but if you can line up this shot and get that first blood, how it can change everything. But LA Thieves are doing a great job of just taking a lot of ground towards A. The bomb is going to get planted, and Drazah already finds himself in a great position.
And Vico does a wonderful job at actually stopping the plant and also finding a kill. Stays alive. And then the Thieves, they could tempt at going for a B-bomb rotation. You could very much tell. Look at all 4 of those arrows. It's basically a box setup. Right now for the Mutineers, Drazah trying to breach and clear. Meanwhile, Kenny, he's also now out of the fight. A 2v4 as davePaTi does get found out. Still 3 members to go and 20 seconds on the clock. Major pistol whipping, and now it's all up to Octane. 1v3. He did pop dead silence, so he's definitely sprinting. He's running around fast with that tack, but there's just not enough time. Turns on to Vico, and Major finally is able to put that snipe to use. Down 5-2, and now Florida back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, and that round all comes into the play of Vico. You said it perfectly, my friend. He was able to stop that bomb plant and then was also able to get that first blood onto Envoy. You put yourself in the man advantage. Majority of these rounds, you will find some success. As Major finds 2 on the round, the sniper, I guess, was the play. Now you just need to figure out what you're going to do on attack. Last time you got a little bit of help from Octane, killing his own teammate. This time you got to get the first blood.
Absolutely do. Got to be mistake-free. Octane, how about the lineup? Also, get a nice hit marker there onto the rookie. Bruised and battered, but Vico will type in the digits regardless. A statement beginning here for the Thieves, but the Mutineers, as we said, a huge spot for them. Can they come up clutch again?
Can they come up clutch? 3v4, you have to hold down your irons. These kills have to be big. Kenny finds 1, Envoy finds his second, and that is a perfect retake right there for the Thieves. Now up 2-0 in the series.
You can play the music if you want.
Yeah, play the music.
That is going to be a dub in the books for the Thieves. And honestly, man, a similar story to the Hardpoint, where it's like Thieves come out hot. Feels like Florida begin to gain a bit of confidence. They start to wake up a bit more, but it's just not enough. It's not enough in the end, as it is a huge, huge victory in the books for the Thieves, taking away what has absolutely been Florida's strong suit so far throughout this year, and the primary reason why we thought that this could be a closer series.
Yeah, now that you are Florida, and you lose your search and destroy, you find yourself down 0-2 in this one. They're okay at control. Around middle of the pack, sitting at overall 7-7. But this has been your bread and butter, man. This is what allows you to always go to a game 5. And unfortunately, they fall short. They allowed LA Thieves to get 7 first bloods out of all the rounds that they played. The majority of those came on the defensive end. Every time they found one, they found success on the round. Florida just did not have an answer, and now with their backs all up against the wall, they have to try to complete the reverse sweep.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an easy task. As you said, it feels like, Jay, every time that we cast over the Thieves, every time that we see this roster, it's just a team that doesn't look like they're going to break easy. I know they're off the loss versus OpTic Texas, where things got dicey toward the end, but it just feels like a team that's always going to remain composed. But it's fair to say right now they're feeling good. I think we saw all smiles after that game finally ended.
Without question, man. It's got to be feeling good to win a search and destroy, man. You lose this year's yesterday by losing 2, and you beat the best S&D team in the game on one of their better maps. So you're feeling good if you are LA.
Yeah, as we said, that undefeated streak comes to a close here in Fortress Search Destroy for the Mutineers, but can their control begin to level it up as they are already 1 map away from being eliminated here at the Boston Major? Can they stay alive? We'll find out right after this.
The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Howdy, friends, and welcome back to another day, another series here at the Boston Major. Currently, it is the LA Thieves taking on the Florida Mutineers, and so far, it's been a pretty one-sided affair. The Mutineers desperately needing to try and have a bit of a comeback here in this next control. Why, Jay? Because their tournament life resides on it.
Yeah, everything's on the line right now for Florida. They're going to be able to make it one day to the event, play 3 maps, and potentially go home. It's not going to be easy to try to climb this ladder because they're going up against LA Thieves on their best control map. We got the opportunity to watch them play this versus OpTic Texas yesterday. They pulled it out all the way into round number 5. And to talk a little bit more about Hotel, attacking rounds are a lot better than defense. And for Florida, they are the worst attacking team on this map. So not going to be easy, but it has to start right now.
I was going to ask you, like, you know, is there any number that you can give me to make me feel a little bit better about the Florida Mutineers?
None whatsoever.
I'm not hearing anything, at least as of yet. As we said, Hotel Control, most commonly played one here for the LA Thieves. They've got the most reps on it, and we'll see if OpTic can continue to put up numbers. Good God, at 1.43 right now, that's human turret-like, Jay, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, it is, man. I'm telling you, when you're playing fundamentally sound in your hard points, we saw that Octane was just posted up towards the back of the steps, like not even moving. So he's probably barely dying on the map, just picking up the kills when he needs to. And then in that Search and Destroy, he was making an impact with that sniper in hand. Multiple first bloods on the rounds, just making it happen. So now if you are Florida, I think one player that I need to see more out of is the guy that they just made the roster change for, Mr. Dave Patty. Mr. Krabby Patty, Dave Paddington, Patty the Patty, whatever the nickname is.
That one.
He's had a slow start to both of these first 2 maps, so that guy was the hero. He's the reason why they brought him in, to try to get better at respawn. And with them being their backs against the wall right now, you need to start in his control.
Well, it feels like for the Mutineers, like you really do want to see like this roster change work out for them. You want to see, hey, what was the reason behind, right, releasing Brack, allowing for Dave Patty to come into this lineup? Where are we going to see that impact, that change? And it doesn't feel like we've really seen it. I mean, at times, don't get me wrong, Dave Patty's a great player, but it just feels like for the Mutineers, this change, the reason for it, all the drama behind it, has just not worked out or really seen any change.
It hasn't, because it's the same, basically the same formula. You're going from Brack, who was an AR player, the same exact thing that Dave Patty is, and it was just the fundamentals in their gameplay. It's not one guy, especially when you're making that many mistakes in hardpoint. It's not just one guy. It has to be multiple different reasons why you're losing the maps the way that you are. 5 and 22 in hardpoint, that's the thing that you scrim every single day. You get on and you practice with your team, play all 5 hardpoints in every single series. Sometimes the controls are not guaranteed. You play that mode the most, you just simply have to be better at it.
And that's a wonderful point, partner, because I feel like even for the Mutineers, we're talking about, hey, you know, if they can come away with a control victory, is it possible? Absolutely. Anything is possible. But even getting back to the hardpoint conversation, do you think that it is something that weighs in the players' minds, knowing that hardpoint record, knowing another hardpoint loss, even if they're able to walk away with this control victory? Is there still a level of doubt that you have in yourself coming into what could be even a game 4?
I think so, because if you are Florida, just their struggles in hardpoint, they have not been playing good. Let's take a look at our scuffed team of the Major, Lando. Who do we think it is?
I don't know. I have no idea, actually. I've got a few names in mind, but guys, make sure if you have not done so already, put your votes in. Let us know who you think is going to be on the scuffed team of the Major. You have the ability to decide. Jay, give me one name. Give me one name right now.
With that question, Dashy. I got to go Dashy.
That's a fair one. I think the crowd would like that choice as well, to be honest with you.
Could have went Methodz, too. I think they would have liked that one as well.
I think so. Chef Tony deserves a lot of love. Played really well now.
Chicken parm, a little bit.
Chicken parm. I love myself a good chicken parm. Does everybody know where I can find a good one? I need to find out.
Just got to text in.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't have a great meal last night. That was...
yeah, that was kind of tough.
I woke up. I just didn't feel the greatest. Anyway, scuff team of the Major. Make sure to do that. Hotel Control, Jay. How you feeling?
Well, like I said, man, it's just a tall task to climb if you are Florida. You saw the difference in Havoc's expressions after that map number 1. He was laughing it off.
That's right.
And then you go into the Search and Destroy. Oh, this is locked in the bag. Now you lose that one. And everything changes. Now you have to be playing perfect Call of Duty from here on out to try to keep your tournament lives alive.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to try and dig deep, do everything that you can. It would be unfortunate, as you said, man, to fly out all the way here to Boston. We know all of the travel issues that have been going down with a bunch of different teams for the Mutineers just to see 3 maps, and that would be it. Would be not great for them. I love actually, during this moment, we're actually just making sure everybody is good to go, ready and prepared coming into this next control. To actually take a look at how the bracket is shaping up right now as it currently stands. As we said, we've got 5 elimination games going on today. And so far, big games going forward. The New York Subliners were able to best the Royal Ravens. They stay alive for the moment. And on the bottom side, the game that we just came off of, Jay, a wild end. Boston Breach cutting away the Seattle Surge. Surge out in top 12. Who knows what that's going to mean for that team, but every roster fighting for their lives. And it's actually really good to know as well, right? Thieves up 2-0. Shout out to the graphics team for that one. Winner of this game faces off against New York, I think actually for the last match of the night.
Yeah, that's going to be a big match because I'm pretty sure if LA is able to complete this series, that's going to be a rematch of Major 1 where New York were able to eliminate them at that event. So should be some bad blood between both of those teams. New York versus LA, East Coast versus West.
That's right.
That's always a banger, man.
It absolutely is. Excited to see, like I said, who's going to come away with this game. And there's a lot of things to think about, right? If you are either of these teams, you're thinking about this victory, you're thinking about trying to come away with this W, and then trying to refocus and get prepared for what I'm sure is going to be a very big fight versus the New York Subliners later on in the day. We do apologize, folks, for this quick little tech delay, but we're making sure that everybody's good, making sure all those controllers are plugged in. You know the deal. But we are going to throw it to a quick little break. When we come back, as we said, that hotel control is up. Look at that. We're even coming back from the break a little early. We just needed somebody to plug in a controller, fix something a little bit. Shout out to our incredible production team getting everything back in order. But Jay, as we said, coming into this control, LAT up 2-0. What 2 players are you looking out for coming into this game 3?
Oh, well, it's definitely got to be Havoc because he's the playmaker for Florida. And then the opposite side, I want to see a little bit more out of Sub Kenny. That guy, he took over in that Search and Destroy. He was making the plays, but obviously this matchup is insane. Havoc versus Envoy. A couple 1v1s in that Search and Destroy.
Some love expressed either way as well.
Yeah, it's fun. But Havoc is the guy who I'm looking at to really turn up because he currently does hold the record in control with 40 kills.
That is fair. What map was that on?
aLLeY.
Oh, completely different. I was kind of hoping we could find a number finally for Florida. But still, nonetheless, that 40 bomb still lives in the minds of many folks out there. Mr. Havoc could be the guy to do it. And as we said, coming into this, somebody that you're looking out for to be the difference, to kind of carry the roster and maybe be that spark plug. It very well could be Havoc, as now from this point forward, the Florida Mutineers are fighting for their tournament lives. Down 0-2 and in desperate need of an opening round victory. Maybe it could be here on the attack. A few early fights as Florida look to sink their teeth really into both zones. However, a decision could be made for them. A few spawns over toward the top. They still have their eyes at B.
Still have their eyes on B. They were winning their gunfights. They were playing it super patient right off the rip, holding down the middle of the map. But unfortunately, Havoc is not able to win that gunfight. The trade doesn't come in. Octane finds 2, shuts down that early pressure over towards B. And Florida still have nothing to show for it.
That door pretty much slams right in the face of the Mutineers as they are going to have to pivot quickly. Now over at that A zone, they do have man count advantage, but as long as they take Jade, also puts in the back of the lines for Thieves. Hey, it's a little quiet over at B. Maybe they're making the rotation now at A. They clean house. They know, hey, B's obviously clear. Bedroom is open, and the Mutineers finally begin to jump on forward. They technically do have those close calls.
No.
You gotta get going. It's a team kill on top of no other kills found.
Yeah, that's
a collapse.
That's not good right there.
That's a breakdown.
You had 3 players in kitchen. It was only 1 guy in Drazah sitting behind Diner. They did not push him. They were playing it patient, and then eventually when they decide to push, a team kill comes in and they go 3 dead. But now they're at least able to stop the clock, get on towards the B point. They just don't have any map control. LA Thieves 10 seconds away from basically a flawless defensive round.
They still have a chance, though, to get to that B zone. We'll see if a few players can stay alive, but they just have no idea that Octane still happens to be over at the top side of the bedroom. That was not a good-looking attack there for the Mutineers. Not what you wanted to see, Jay.
Yeah, this ain't pretty. That's not good right there if you're Florida. And that showed why they are the worst attacking team on this map. Just gotta speed it up a little bit. You gotta know your situations. It's only 1 guy behind Diner, 1 guy sitting behind the booth. You play it patient, you wait long enough, and then when you decide to challenge, a team kill comes in. It's very frustrating watching that play from Florida. The comms have to be hectic. This is tough, man. This is tough so far.
It absolutely is. It's all smiles for the Thieves as we come into round 2. And in fact, let's step aside and see how the comms are sounding right now with them. A listen to the Thieves.
iLLeY does. Not stunned. We can jump. Shot a little bit left. Look at R1 for a second. Nothing R1. Nothing A, bro. Nothing A.
Nice.
Nothing A.
I'm secret.
I got a point, though. You can play here. They can be double.
This is the slowest fucking break off.
Can they
can defense, yes. They can
I'll look at defense. Can you get my double now? I can double now. Okay, you look at pitch up.
When did Brooks on glass?
Win white. Go far left white. He's on top of the chest, on the desk. I'll challenge white. I'm looking for
They let you that double chow. They let you that white double
He's
chow.
still heavy.
I can't be. Oh my god. I'm checking. Over here. I'm checking.
They're spawning. They're missing Mike.
I'm checking. They have BP to me. Missing Mike.
We're checking.
Zig, do you want the bar? I want Zig again. Zig, come up. He jumped out. No, he got it.
I'm here. D2.
Done.
Mike's
I'll
be bed,
bro. Mike has to be bed. That's not big. Mike has to be bed.
What the fuck? Bar, D1.
I hear D1.
He's like, do you want on the stage?
Secure Don't just flip it. I'm going in. That's fine.
Okay. I'll
Still
still
have
couch.
6. Oh, dub. I killed off dub, Dave.
I'll say
Killed off.
dub.
He's still dub.
Yeah, still dub. He's back.
I'm chalking him. I'm going to point.
I hear you. I have your one, Zach.
I dub the point.
He might
Vic could be behind me, catch. I'm holding freezer.
He had me on mid. That's one there. I have one.
Vic's behind us.
1 week. That's it. He's there's that one. There's that one shot.
I'm with Zach. Yeah, I do have a streak here. We can get him.
Yeah,
I have a streak too.
I'm going to jump across.
I'm only P2 Zach. Could be close. I don't see anything.
I'm only playing mid.
You guys let me know. I will streak. You guys let me know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm streaking now.
Let me know where your piece of
Comes.
Couches, then good done.
Nice. Chicken, D1. It looks like you're Zig. Chicken and
Back steps.
Other guys in bed. I think he's like
Checking.
I'm gonna help you bet.
Checking. He's still checking.
one shot P2. Go and check in right now.
Okay.
I'm playing
No, he pushed up P2. He pushed up P2. Vic to left.
They need top, but I think he might go white.
Vic is left. Vic is left.
Lobby. They're in couches. Lobby and couches. He's 100% couches. In lobby.
Here.
Couches? Couches, absolute. Couches,
He's
absolute.
I mean, that was a great little check-in. Really, so far throughout this round with the Thieves, I'll be honest with you, Jay, it doesn't really sound like super motivated. It's honestly like annoyed. Like they're almost like annoyed that this is as easy as it appears. They get that A capture essentially for free, and now they begin to divulge into that B zone. Mutineers, they've got 4 players, but nobody is looking at the zone right now. That thing's moving quick.
Yeah, everyone is flanking to bedroom. So this can potentially work out. You just have to win these gunfights. Havoc wins 1 towards top bed. Havoc finds 2. So he's able to shut down that pressure. There's still 1 player on the point. Havoc's trying to time it right. He's just going to jump right on out. Lines up for Envoy. There's still 1 player in towards bedroom. It's Major Maniac. He's going to be the lifeline.
All right, Patty, there it is. Nice little 1v1 versus Envoy, but he's going to get a move on. He's definitely going to put those trainers on, gets involved in the fight, and there you go, Patty. That's what I'm talking about. 3 in a row. Granted, I mean, you've given up quite a few segments already. And as he finally does hit the dirt, for the Mutineers, they need some life. They need some momentum. Right now, lives do favor them for the moment. Time begins to tick away. This could be the last push right now for Florida. 2 players out of the fight. They've got to get here soon because the Mutineers continue to stack. Havoc over the top. Havoc over the top. 3 drop. Last man up is Octane.
Last man up is Octane. There's only 30 seconds left on the round. You have 5 seconds if you are LA. But these gunfights are going to be so big. Octane with a huge one-on-one versus Havoc is now going to allow you to sprint forward. You just have to stop that clock. You have to cross over. Major Maniac able to at least take down one, but he's the only guy here for Florida. You have to go.
You do indeed, and he's not going to be able to jump into the point in time. It is great work there for the Thieves to remain composed in that moment. Florida, they get that opportunity. They get that chance where they find a few in a row. But the Thieves, I don't know, man. It just feels like getting to that objective at the end. Florida, multiple players going for long routes, trying to hit in through couches, through mid. There just wasn't enough bodies, it felt like, toward the bar position.
That's exactly what it was right there, Lando. I understand that you're getting the bad spawn, especially for that beat point over towards Jules, but everyone cannot overextend. You have to wrap back and at least help your teammates, but with everything on the line for Florida Mutineers, let's step aside and hear out their comm sound with the listening.
He ran from Bance. I'm coming there. Watch back exit or something. Stop the clock.
Yeah, he's in a pinch.
You have all this side. Double archer. Drazah right now. Exit.
Trying to hold pinch check.
I need your exit.
Javi, can you hold kitchen pinch?
Yeah, looking exit. I'm looking at red door and I can peek your one late. So come in red door. He's side door already. Side door in kitchen. In kitchen. That's good trade. I'm our side red. Anything you want. One's exit.
Red hole trying our side. Octane on weak.
Wine and exit. Last two. Okay, one exit. There's one on point.
They're filling in B.
Push up close, red hole.
One's B. You want one stunned. You could be mid-rushing across the catch. I don't see anything D1 or got hit.
He's got it, an idiot.
Yeah, I'm nading it with you.
Struggle top mid and challenge.
Chow D2, he should be done. Good job.
One double touch on me. Single me.
You
fast, red door. One's on me, D1.
Red hole weak.
Go away.
Phone booth in the corner.
Stop clock.
No, he flew at me. Nice.
One more.
Exit R1.
R1 got me. R1. Okay, one D1 to bar and one's
R1 right now. He's back to R1. Yeah.
Two on A. I'm gonna go cat here. Guys, I'm playing kills around B side again.
Dub one shot, ran away. We're gonna be pitching top cat, pitching couch now weak. Couch pushing Lily, so one was dub.
Let's go B. It's gonna be 1B.
One B.
It's 1B. There's two B's. I'm looking at my push. Chime in.
Yeah, I can chill with you.
Chime in mid draws.
Listen, one's D1 and one's push head.
Mutineers still with life, however, 25 seconds left as they've got to come away with an attacking round, and all of it starts with getting a few segments either at A or over at B. They decide to invest in that B zone, but they've got to make their way from the crosshair through the lane of Drazah. A trade comes in. Dave Patty, able to stay alive. Nobody from the Thieves is here to contest.
Nobody from the Thieves is here to contest. All swanning out towards Jules. They're going to invest the cruise missile, but the trophy is going to be down. You throw the tax, you're able to take down Dave Patty. So now this is where you can set up the pitch from the middle of the map. Kenny and Octane through mid. It's only 5 seconds left in the round. LA Thieves, they're going to hold on.
It looks like they will. 3 fall, and nobody from Florida is going to be able to get to the point. It is a calm and confident Thieves 3-0.
It's got to be very frustrating if you are Florida. You lose a search and destroy, which is your bread and butter. You find yourself down 0-2 in this series. And even when we jumped into the listening right there in those final moments with them, there was just no teamwork. There was no team play, no team call for like, let's just commit towards one of these sites. Let's at least extend the time by a minute. It was always 2 players going over towards A, while the other 2 were going towards B. Yeah, nothing to work on. You lose your gunfights. You're all coming off spawn. LA Thieves kept you in the trap. That was just a textbook series right there from the Thieves. They needed that off the bounce back after that difficult loss to OpTic. Clean 3-0, have a dance with New York later.
Yeah, they absolutely do. That'll be the biggest story coming after this series. The Thieves, they look great, and they looked pretty good in that series yesterday versus OpTic Texas. Despite the loss, they come in and they handle business versus the Mutineers. Jay, it's got to be a frustrating moment for Florida, right?
Oh, yeah.
You come into this major, having high hopes, as every team does. As you said, 3 maps in, and you're done.
The only thing that I would take into consideration is that Dave Patty's been on this team for only 2 matches throughout stage 2.
Yeah.
So he jumped in towards the middle. Now you have some more time potentially going into stage 3. We just simply got to get better at hardpoint. You have to have some confidence there. Where you know your S&D on any given day can be one of the best in the game. But if you get one of these respawns to go a little bit more on your side, that's when you can be one of those complete teams. It has to start in hardpoint.
Well, on the other side, for the LA Thieves, as you said, you highlighted it, you touched on it earlier. How do you now feel after seeing a victory like this? You know, you and I, we had our questions. We said Mutineers, they just need one respawn. They absolutely have a chance to win both the S&Ds. Seeing a clean 3-0 win here for the Thieves, how better does that make you feel in their chances in taking on NYSL for the final match of the night?
I think there's only one thing that you take from this, and that's that search and destroy. Beating the best team in S&D is never an easy task, and you were able to do it in a 6-4 fashion, so you got to just take that forward going up against a stellar New York team.
Yeah, it's not necessarily job done today by any means here for the LA Thieves, but they do handle business versus the Florida Mutineers. That's going to do it for myself and Jay as we send it over now to Blaze, who's with Drazah.
Thank you so much, Lando and Study. Boston, give it up for the LA Thieves as they get us with a nice 3-0 victory over the Florida Mutineers, and it was a quick victory, Drazah. What was the key to success in this one? Because you guys looked like y'all was in championship form.
Yeah, I feel like going into this match, obviously we lost against OpTic yesterday, so it was really focusing on our S&Ds. We lost both S&Ds to OpTic, and I think that's one of the bigger reasons why we lost that series.
Yep.
So I think focusing on our S&Ds and playing our game and playing our pace to be aggressive when, you know, sometimes we weren't. So I think that's our key to that map and the rest of the tournament.
And the rest of the tournament. And that kind of almost goes into the next question too is, you know, for you guys getting back to that championship level form, we saw you guys go back to back, and I know you really want to do that one. Do you guys feel like y'all can get it done at this event?
I think we got a long way to do it, but I'm still very confident. I think our S&D is the real reason. If we're going to win this tournament, I think S&D is going to be why. I think that's one of our weaker game modes, and I think that we're close to being really good at it, but we just got to put a few things together, and I think we'll be great.
All right, that sounds good to me. Any last words you want to say out here to the fans so you guys can get back there and start preparing for that next series?
Yeah, I appreciate everyone who's out here just supporting us. Obviously, we had a tough loss yesterday, but we're looking to do as much as we can in this tournament, so I appreciate you guys.
And we appreciate you, Drazah. One more time for the LA Thieves. Chris, take us away.
Thank you so much, Drazah. Great to see him with the W, the smile, the interview. They didn't get it last night, but today they make quick work of their opponents. Welcome back to the desk. We got Chance, we got Miles joining aLLeY, Cat, and I. And aLLeY, I want to start with you because we now have our bracket starting to shape up here at the bottom half. The elimination bracket is starting to look a little bit dangerous for whoever who might be dropping down next.
Oh, absolutely. And our first 3-0 is definitely not the one I think anybody could have read or had on their bingo cards. LA Thieves with a hot respawn as expected, but I think that S&D, that map number 2, is what really took most of us by surprise, and the fact that Florida has looked so solid in the search and destroy. I know you guys are excited about these stats, but wow.
Yeah, they're getting fired up. Everyone noticing that second round elimination match, Thieves versus Subliners. Somebody's going home top 8, the other is powering into the top 6. But let's revisit how we got here as we take a look back at that game 3. This was the exclamation point on a pretty controlled series. Talk to me about this map in particular, Mr. Chance.
Florida just didn't really have anything to offer. There's not too much to break down, in all honesty. LA Thieves every single round. Like, honestly, the listening might have been the best part, where, like, the pace was so slow that Octane was getting a little bit bored partway through it, acknowledging the speed, and they just had time to break down everything every single step of the way. Just no pressure on LA, it felt like, in the response.
The absolute deal breaker for me was the fact that LA Thieves won the search and destroy. As soon as we saw that come through, I mean, I ran over to Lando and Study and I said, boys, put the house and the kids on the 3-0 right now. It is done. There's no way. You broke the back of Florida by winning that one, and that, for me, sealed the deal.
You win search and destroy. I don't know if Florida has many other cards to play. LA takes this one convincingly, 251-92. The 6-4 in search, though. Drazah said this is our weakest game mode, but they finished it in 10 rounds. This was the game 5 they lost to OpTic last night. So is this the game mode moving forward that you guys are still concerned about for the Thieves? It feels like the team is starting to think that might be their weakness if they have one.
I feel like it kind of depends on who they're playing against, right? Like, it's going to be S&D a concern against certain teams, but I know their next series is going to be against New York, so I know the hard points are going to be a concern against a squad like that. So it's map to map, it's mode to mode, it depends on who they play.
Let's take a look at our scuff play of the game. This is how they they sealed the deal. The final round of Search and Destroy. Miles, walk us through it.
Oh my goodness, Chris. I mean, look, it comes down to a couple of key moments. It comes down to some crazy bits, and typically I'm not the guy to do this, but if you cast your eyes to that minimap, ladies and gentlemen, no, I'm kidding. It's all the room, the boomstick. He don't miss! Sometimes he does. Hit markers, though, have been a bit of a thing this major long, but hey, crazy stuff. We didn't have to see any shenanigans with streaks here, but it was all LA Thieves all day, baby.
LA Thieves are now moving into our top 8. How deep do they go? Do you have them in your top 6?
I mean, yeah, there could have them in my top 6. We're talking about the back-to-back champions from last year, so I mean, some respect does need to be put on the LA Thieves name, but again, it was just Florida. They went through one round. Can't wait to see them in the next.
Florida makes some changes during the qualifiers for Major 2. We'll see if they make more changes as Roster Mania is known to kick up after Major 2. We're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, Clayster's been waiting to play. He'll be taking the stage with the Las Vegas Legion as they take on the Guerrillas. Don't go anywhere. More Call of Duty live from Boston.